Hello and welcome to episode 212 of the Heart of Markness podcast. Led Zeppelin podcast, that is. This is my second attempt. I got, about a third of the way through recording. I found a new, or that was posted on Dime a Dozen. I don't want to make it sound like I'm out there scouring the world. I just hold my hands out and just play what falls into them. But on Dime a Dozen, they had someone had posted a master recording, DAT recording of Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes in Worcester Centrum, October 16th, 1999. And I said, with Joe Perry from Aerosmith. We'll look at that. So I grabbed it, listened to it last night, said, wow, that is great. Picked out the songs I wanted, started the podcast, and I was like, you know what? I don't know who's playing lead guitar for the Crowes, and I don't know who's playing bass. So I went to look up the band on that tour, or at that show, and what comes up in Google but heartofmarkness.com. Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes, Worcester Centrum, October 16th, 1999. I said, fuck! I've already done that one. Yes, other David, you are right. I need to update that spreadsheet. One of my wonderful patrons and friends named Other David. There's a story behind that. There was once David, and then there was Other David. David has since, went to a farm upstate, and Other David is still Other David. He made a spreadsheet of the first 100-something shows. Who I covered, what songs I covered, holy shit. And then I said, thank you so much. I will keep this updated religiously, which I did not do. I did about 10 more. So this is the second time. And at first I was like, well, you know what? Fuck them. I'm going to keep going. But then I went back and listened to the source of the show I did a year ago. And it was better than the one I was doing. So it's like, well, I have no excuse now. So I have been keeping a show in my back pocket for occasions such as this, or just occasions when I've gotten nothing in the tank and I have to do a podcast. So we have for you a great show, a great recording of Led Zeppelin, February 14th, Valentines Day, 1975, Nassau Coliseum. I have probably done this show, but I don't give a fuck, because this is a new release. It is the good source, the Grame Remaster, which, has been out, and if I did cover this show, I'm sure I used that one. But it's been edited and patched with an audience tape by good old Zepphead 315, who I think is Led Zeppelin Boots. I should write down just a post-it note, like you do at work with phone numbers and things. Macros and formula for Excel, just the shit you go back to all the time, because I never remember it and I feel like an asshole, because if that's not who it is, I'm sorry. Well, Zepphead 315, I know that's you because it's in your fucking notes. Thank you. This is awesome. So, we are going to listen to it today. Now, what is this about 1975? Yes, Led Zeppelin existed in 1975. They were touring the United States at this time. 75 is kind of the Jan Brady of tours, because a lot of people say, yeah, Zeppelin peaked in 75. No, they peaked in 73. However, 75 was kind of beset by issues with Robert being very, 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 very sick with the flu, bronchitis, chest cold, chest bad. When you get, you've heard me when I'm like, hello, everybody. I was like, so that's him. He's going out and trying to sing. His voice is already fucked up because he's shredded it. So he makes it worse, keeps doing it. Jimmy had a broken finger. Not only a broken finger, but the ring finger on the left hand. The finger, the anchor, the one that you bend strings with. He broke it just before the tour started. So what they did, everything was in motion, would have cost $1 trillion, would have fucked everything up. They would have lost their shirts had they canceled or postponed. So, ever onward, they did it, but did damage. This tour did damage. did damage to Robert's voice, did damage to Jimmy's finger and arm, which then led to an accelerated, this is all hypothesized, degradation in his playing, aside from the substance issues that everyone else in the 70s was doing. It's not like, Jimmy Page was the only one. They're like, Jimmy, please stop, or will you love you? No, everybody was a fucking wreck by the mid-70s. And then after the mid-70s crashed, as they're sliding into the late 70s, everybody just became worse. That's why, cocaine started to really take over, heroin, of course. But that's not what we're talking about. This is also the tour where you see the pictures, the rock star pictures of Jimmy leaning back in his chair backstage, just chugging a bottle of Jack Daniels. Because he was in pain. So when you're in pain, you alleviate the pain. So it didn't make things better. So a lot of the shows suffered a bit because of the performance limitations, and then because of the substances a little bit. And it didn't get off to a good start. But by this time, actually this show is when they're coming out full force saying, we're back, baby. Robert got over his flu. Jimmy's finger probably healed enough. It had been a month-ish. So it's probably doing well, and they're hitting their stride. So we get into it, and this is a fantastic recording of a really good show. And I could have sworn Ronnie Wood was on this show, but it must be February 13th, the night before. So whatever. Alrighty. Friendos, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. We are going to play now from this show, Valentine's Day. We are going to play now. The first song I will play for you is Sick Again. And it's one I chose because even if I've done this show before, and I'm sure I have, I'm sure I didn't play Sick Again because I rarely play that song because I'm not a huge fan. So I did it, and it is badass, and Bonzo's drumming is the shit. Everything is wonderful. Let's listen. Ta-da!
The city lights, yeah. Do you know my name? Do I look the same? Do I? You know I'm the one you want, babe. Ooh, yes. Friendship pages from your teenage dream. The lobby of the hotel paradise. Through the circus of the New York Queens. Maybe I'm that side. Yeah. Do you know my name? Do I look the same? Tell me, people. You know I'm the one you want. And a very good evening to you. And while we come to think about it, today is one of the last of the pagan traditions that is carried on into the 20th century. It's the day for throwing the wild seeds. In fact, now they call it St. Valentine's Day, so happy St. Valentine's Day. In fact, I think we should dedicate this whole show to St. Valentine, who's done us a lot of good even when he hasn't had a day. We're going to do some things for the benefit of Mr. Kite. We're going to do some stuff from the last 6.5 years of our existence. We're going to cut... We intend to take a knife and cut right through the glorious ice cream of Led Zeppelin and give you a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of colour, a little bit of everything. And maybe a few changes too, for the benefit of one or two people who've been before. Right, this is the first one of the things, not too old, not too new.
Oh my God, Jonesy sounds so good and he's playing so well. I mean, he always plays well, but it's nice to hear. Jonesy was the star of that. Jonesy and Bonzo. Jeepers creepers. Such interesting drums. It's a neat thing. All right, I hope you liked it. Little reference to St. Valentine there and a little bit of the pagan spreading the seed. I wonder what he meant. Perhaps it was an entendre. So, moving ahead, what we have is another song. Really, Mark? Really? Another song? On your music podcast? Golly! Yep, that is correct. There is another song. What is it? It's going to be... You know what? It is going to be a bomb version of No Quarter. I know in 1975 the no quarters were not always, I mean, people tend to like 73 or 77 over 75, and I'm among them. But would you like more, Mark? 73 or 77? Yes. Two different things, almost two different bands. I like the tight, 9, 11 minute kind of thing. I like, you know what I like? I like Copenhagen, July 24th, 1979, which is a 1973 style no quarter. Nice and tight. Played really well. But, 73, you can't go wrong with 73. And you can go wrong with 77 because it depends on the night. But 77, my God. It's a great band. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Get off my back, man. I just wanted a Pepsi. Let's listen to it, especially since that sound is so good. Thank you, Graham, for remastering it, and Led Zepp Fan 315. Shit, I have to look. I can't even remember that. I can't even remember your name. Zepp Head 315. April 2023. It's from this month, y'all. Grame. I don't know. Grame. Grame? Grame. Do come here. All right. Whoever it is did it. It's from and it was patched with first generation audience tape. So good shit. Keeps the flow going. Why patch it? To keep the flow going. So you get the entire experience and there's nothing cut. It can be a little jarring when things are cut, and there are people that want to hear everything. So let's give it to them. Shall we? And, if I haven't mentioned this, you can go to heartofmarkness.com right now and download this entire show. Let me read you the set list. I can't remember if I did it yet because I've already done a podcast today because I'm a fucking idiot. Standard 75 set list. Opens with Rock and Roll, into Sick Again, Over the Hills and Far Away, In My Time of Dying, Since I've Been Loving You. One of the rare times they pulled that out this tour. I think it's the first time they pulled it out on this tour. Song remains the same in the Rain song. Kashmir, killer version of that. Killer version of that. Trampled Underfoot, Moby Dick, 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 Dick. Did I skip something? Kashmir, no quarter. No quarter. Trampled Underfoot, Moby Dick, 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 Dick. Dazed and Confused, also a winner. Stairway to Heaven, Whole Lotta Love, Black Dog, and Heartbreaker. And there are some references to Tangerine and Dazed and Confused, but Robert can't remember the lyrics. So it's just a passing thing. Friendos, let's listen to No Quarter. Bum 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 bum. Enjoy. It's a long one. Not that long. It's over 20 minutes. Between 20 and 23 minutes. I can't tell by the sound wave how much is applause at the end. I would say 21 minutes of music. For free. Enjoy.
Close the door, put out the light. He knows they won't be home tonight. Oh, the snow falls hard, and don't you know? The winds are far blowing. They carry steel, fire through. To build a dream for me and you, yeah. Oh, yeah. Walking side by side with death, the devil mocks their every step. Slow drives back the foot that's slow. The dogs of doom howl and moan. The carry news that must get through to build a dream for me and you. John Paul Jones, piano. John Bonham, hi-hat. This next little piece is in the dressing room. No, sorry, is another track off the new album, and for those people who, and we must cater for all, one and all, this is a track that would especially interest people in the motor trade. It's a car song. It's a song about cars, and cars can be related to, as you probably know, the human body in songs, you know? All that thumping the pistons and all that sort of thing. Which makes life that much better. So this is a song about the very same. It's called Trampled Underfoot.
Oh, that Robert Plant, such a silly man. I kept in the between song banter because the next song, which is the last song I'm going to play for you. Oh, that's funny. Okay, that's funny. Okay, that was a 20-minute song, right? So I've spent that 20 minutes smoking marijuana. And it's 4:20, which I don't care about because it's stupid. But I just spent that time speaking into my bong like a microphone and looking at the recording levels going, why the fuck isn't this higher? So, as I said into my bong, the reason that I kept the banter, the plantations in, as it were, is because I am going to play the song that he's talking about next, which is the last song of the night, Trampled Underfoot, foot. But before that, there's the spiel. And the spiel, if this is your first time listening, welcome, mazel tov, bienvenue. This is the part of the show where I tell you where you can find me, even though you found me, because every other podcast does it and it's part of it. But I also tell you where else you can find me. So you can find me wherever you can find podcasts. So as you know, since you're listening to me, I'm also on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter under the names Heart of Markness. So you can join the Facebook, and it's a Facebook group. It's not just my personal, like, here's my dog, which I don't have. I have a cat named Kit Kat, and she's cute. She's tiny and beautiful. So yeah, there's a Facebook group with a couple hundred really cool people who listen to the show and like the show. I'm on Twitter. I would love it if you'd follow me on Twitter. Twitter is where I am by far the most engaged, which I mean to say not too active on it, but I'm on it all the time, looking, liking, not posting that much. I guess I should. I'm an extreme introvert, and it feels weird to promote myself, so I'm working on it. But yeah, Twitter. I'd love to be friends with you on Twitter. And, oh my God, there is a gentleman, I can't even remember your name, but it's super cool. And you live near me, and you've emailed me twice, and I have not responded. I'm sorry. Emailed you, but how? Mark@heartofmarkness.com. I will reply, thank you for the emails. Heartofmarkness.com is where you can get the shows. Almost all the shows that I have covered in these many years is available at heartofmarkness.com. Just search, scroll, browse, I don't know. Find them, take them, rub them up against you, kiss them, marry them if you want to. I don't know. It's free country. Kind of. Not really. Hardly at all. But, yeah, that's where I am. Heart of Markness. And, lastly but not loosely, what is it? Ah, yes. All of this, all you see before you, thanks entirely to the support of the titans upon whose shoulders rests this humble yet mighty podcast. And by that I mean my patrons. Thank you, my friends. They pay for all of the stuff that is needed to do a podcast, like the podcast hosting on SoundCloud. They pay for it. The website hosting on heartofmarkness.com. They pay for it. The cloud server hosting on Mega, where you get all the shows. They paid for it. They even paid for the microphone that I'm speaking to you through right now. That was poorly phrased. Through which I'm speaking right now. Thank you. Thank you. These are my titans. These are my friends. These are the wind beneath my wings, and a laurel and hearty handshake go out to Keith and Tilda, Brian, Matt, Steve, Big Ed, who I think just commented on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, Kenny, John from West Footscray, Picard, Knegarn from Sweden, Rob from Melbourne, Australia. Wayne from Parts Unknown. Brad, who I don't think exists. Danielle, who I know exists. Tracy, who not only exists, but I am going to see in 9 days. That'll be great. Other David, who I mentioned before. Bonzo Billy, who needs no introduction. And, of course, the headliner, the star of our show, the cream in our Oreo, Mimo. Thank you, guys. Oh my god, I just remembered when somebody on Facebook contacted me and was like, hi, I'm a producer for an upcoming film, blah, blah, blah. I'm working with somebody, and I've worked with somebody else, and I was the archivist for somebody, and I'm working with someone who I can't tell you who it is, but they listen to your podcast and really like it, and they don't want to become a patron like you should. But they would love to make a donation. Do you have a PayPal or something? And I was in a state of altruism and bliss. I was trying to be a better person, and I succeeded to a degree. And I was just basically in a wonderful place at the moment, and I was just like, you know what? You tell that person to pay it forward. Next time somebody needs something, you help them out. And then later I was like, well, I could have asked for something. I could have given my PayPal. But whatever. I'm glad I committed a good act. Committed. Did you commit that good act there, son? Yes. Did you help that little old lady across the road? Yes, sir, I sure did. No. I did something that was decent and then regretted it later because I'm less than decent. All right. Confession time is over. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/heartofmarkness, or when you're at heartofmarkness.com getting these shows for free, which you should do because that's why I put them there. You can hit the patron button, look around, see what's going on. I will be recording my patron episode for April this weekend, and hopefully my patrons like it. I like my patrons. All right. Next song, last song, Trampled Underfoot. A song that I did not really care for live, and now I love it so much. Just the groove. All right, enjoy it.
Grease is the dynamite, who will love to him? Like the way you hold it low, hollering ain't no sin. Talking about love, talking about love, talking about trouble-free transmission, hot your is slow. I'm gonna let me pump you down, I'm gonna let me do it all. Talking about love, talking about love.
And there you have it. And we're done. That sounded great. I love this recording because, as I said earlier, you can really hear Jonesy really well. Bonzo is well represented. You can hear not just his drumming, but the tonality of it. And Jimmy, of course, being Jimmy, seemed a little crazy. I loved it how in No Quarter, Bonzo tried to get a little nuts and tried to up it up and get a little crazy. And Jimmy's like, no, we're playing this. Good stuff. I love these recordings, these little snapshots. Snippets that were played for, 15,000 people for one night, and then it disappeared into the ether until somebody happened to capture those vibrations on magnetic tape, which were then translated to ones and zeros and electrons flowing through the sky. And now you're hearing me talk about that recording, which we heard a little slice in 1975. Good stuff. Happy Valentine's Day. Be good to yourselves and each other. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll try and do a classic rock episode this weekend. I took this weekend off from everything. Nobody fucking even, not even my kids. I need a weekend. All right. Thank you. Love you. Bye.